Welcome to day. I don't even know if I'm doing days anymore, but we'll say day 1002 of Yuka Day. Really, this is a reflection on the last 1,000 days where I posted a video of a cover song for every day for 1,000 days. And these are the questions that I got when I asked viewers to ask me questions. So I'm really excited to answer these. I'm just going to go through them. And they're all great. Let me see where I'm at. Okay. I want to say who asked the question, but I'm realizing I didn't ask if they wanted to be shouted out. So if this is your question, just know I really appreciate it. This question is, have there been any songs that have stuck with you after you've played them? And this answer is absolutely. Absolutely. I think the first one that really hit me was when I did Johnny Be Good. It was the first one where I was fast with the strumming, and it was such a challenge, and I got a lot of good feedback from it, and I thought, yeah, I'm getting good. Oh my gosh. That was one of my favorites. And then Rocky Horror Picture Show. That was channeling my theater roots, and that felt so good to do. Time after time, I thought, wow, my voice is finally sounding pretty nice. That's something that also, I didn't mention it in my long reflection video from yesterday. I should have talked about my voice and singing, because that has been a major part of this journey as well. It's been learning the ukulele, but it's been singing on top of the ukulele. And I've had a journey with my voice and loving it and accepting it where it's at. And I remember someone telling me that, I think after they watched one of my videos, saying that I was brave. I think because vocally it wasn't that good. And that made me laugh. And it made me really happy too, because internally, emotionally, and intellectually, I'd already made peace with, I am not an Aretha Franklin. I'm not a Whitney Houston. I'm not a Celine Dion. I'm not a Carrie Underwood. All these beautiful, wonderful, fabulous singers. And that wasn't the point of my channel. The point of my channel was to learn how to sing on top of a ukulele and hopefully get better vocally. And it was fun to see how some songs just hit. And gosh, my one friend recommended a song, and God, I can't remember the name of the song now, but I was like, man, I sound good, and this is out of a song, out of 1,000 songs. And then other songs I'm like, but a big part of it was just to play where I'm at, and hoping to show that you don't have to be perfect to be seen by a lot of people. Because let's face it, the internet, you're seen by a lot of people. And so that was really good. Okay, so next question. Do you have favorite performances you were most happy with or meant the most to you? Okay, so I said Rocky Horror Picture Show already. I really loved that one. I really loved Edelweiss. That was near the beginning. I think it was song 3. There's just something about that song that hits my heart. It's simple and it's beautiful. It's definitely a song I'd love to do again, and I think that someone asked that question later on, so I'll talk about that. Have you found any musical genres easier to perform or that you prefer? The easiest ones are any musical theater song. You'll see when I go to a Disney song or some sort of musical theater song, and I had taken voice lessons for a little bit. I'd totally forgotten about that. I want to say for 4 or 5 months. It was very helpful. And when I talked to her, I said, when I sing a musical theater song, it's easier versus if I sing a pop song. And she said, yeah, that makes total sense, because musical theater are written for those bigger notes, for voices. And, pop songs are I don't know if she said this, but pop songs are written to be popular. And I don't know if they always take into account like how your voice switches in and out of a middle voice, or they're written for a particular singer in mind. So I would say easier musical theater, hands down. And then this is very specific, is songs that I grew up with. If I had heard it as a child many times, it was just already stuck in my neural pathways. And those were always songs that were easier. There are, I think, 5 songs maybe that I heard that day and learned that day. And even then, those were very simple songs. And then there were songs that I thought I knew and I chose them. And then when I went to play them that day, I realized I did not know them. Like I thought I knew them. I knew maybe the chorus. Bridges were always very difficult for me, because with the verses, you get the benefit of the repetition. But that bridge comes in out of nowhere. And it's like, all these different note changes. So I think, and I know over the 1,000 days, I would go right to the bridge of a song to see, can I learn this bridge today? And that helped me out so much. Oh, tremendously. Because it would suck learning a song late at night thinking I know the song, and then I hit that bridge. I'm like, oh, dang. And then it's midnight. And I still gotta post this video. Do you have any synesthetic, sensory, or memory experiences while you're performing? Yes. I should have looked up what synesthetic meant first. I apologize. I meant to look that up. But sensory and memory experience, when I played the song, it's titled R.I.P. Uncle Richard. It was after my Uncle Richard died suddenly. That song, while playing it, hit an emotional part for me. And that happened quite a few times. That's the one that stands out the biggest. And it's also one of my first videos, I guess, that got the most views, which doesn't surprise me. I think when musicians touch upon their own emotional vulnerability, that can be felt. I don't know if that necessarily was, but that was one of the songs for me. And there were a couple ones from childhood I wish I could remember that hit, but I think the Arcade Fire song that I played recently hit, because that was in a major transition in my life as well, with a first love. So yeah, and those songs actually are my favorite to play. I love when there's an emotional attachment to it, and you get to put it out there. Okay, here. Have you thought of returning to any favorite songs and spending more time with them to create mastered versions? 100%. I think from the beginning, I even mentioned it in some of the songs, of I want to come back to this song and actually play it good. And now that I'm moving into posting weekly, I'm hoping that the songs get better, that my vocals get better. I really want to look into getting back into ukulele lessons. I have 2 months before my due date, so maybe I can cram in a handful of lessons. We'll see. But that's definitely something I want to do. Oh, this is funny. When telling people you meet about this project, do you mention the oppressive number of days you've kept it up? Or do you speak about it more generally as a daily practice and then drop the number on them when they ask how long you've been doing it? I think it's very much in the moment and depends on the person, but I think I do both. Sometimes I'll say, yeah, I've been doing it for 900 and something days. Or the latter, they'll be, well, how long have you been doing it? I think I lean more towards the former, just because when I tell people about it, I don't think they can wrap around what I'm talking about at the beginning of it. Because I'll say, yeah, I've been posting a video every day, and then once I tell them how long I've been doing it, they realize, whoa, this is a big commitment. It gets them really excited. And for the most part, they'll be like, I'll check it out. I'm like, yay. A little self-promotion. Did you play any instrument before the ukulele? Yes. Yesterday in my reflection video, I mentioned I first learned the xylophone. I carried the xylophone around for 4 years, from 4th to 8th grade. Just remember carrying that big, heavy xylophone on the school bus. And I was just like sticking bones at that time too. And I was technically in the percussion section of the band. So I learned snare and bass and timpani and not cowbell, triangle. I'm sure there was a cowbell in there at some point. We need more cowbell. And piano. I sought out piano lessons in my last year of high school, and so I had a couple privates there, and then I continued piano lessons for about 2 years in college. Do you still learn Spanish? You haven't sung Spanish songs for years. I know. I did 800 days of Duolingo for Spanish. I was killing it. And then I think ultimately, with the ukulele on top of that and everything that was happening in my life, I had to choose, and I chose the ukulele because I realized with my Spanish, I really needed to practice with a live person. There was only so much I could do on Duolingo, though it was great. I needed to join a class or something, and my life didn't hold that capacity yet. So I haven't been actively learning Spanish. I do still want to do a Spanish song. I'm definitely going to do a Spanish song in these weekly posts because I think I'll actually have time to learn it. Those will be especially difficult because I'll have to learn a song in a different language. But that excites me. I still want to become fluent in Spanish for sure. When will you play an original song? Good question. I have never written a full song. I do have about 6 lines of a song that came to me just while I was driving my car on a long trip, and I think it has the potential to be a really good song. So if I do post an original song, it will be that one once I figure out how to write the middle part and the ending. But I want to. Like, that does excite me so much. I've always wanted to write an original song that was good, you know? So I think a little more practice and a little more time, and that'll happen. Someone wrote, I wonder what the process is for deciding the song for each day. This is a great question too. I should have mentioned this yesterday in my reflection video, but my days always Yuka Day is always in the back of my brain. It's always in the back of my brain because from the moment I wake up till I post that song, I am trying to figure out what song I'm playing for the day. There have been very rare instances where I already have the song picked out, and there have been even more rare instances where I learned the song a couple days before. Normally, I would say 90% of the time, I pick the song and I learn it that day. And that was one of the ways I made this project very difficult on myself. If I had sat down and planned it and not been so off the cuff, I could have had songs planned out for a week and like maybe practiced a little bit here and there of every song every day. But no, I made it harder, which tends to be my MO. Hopefully up until now, knock on wood. Hopefully that changes. But what I would do is I would wake up. I worked at a job where they had the work radio station playing all day. So probably 80% of my songs came from there. So shout out to my work. I would hear a song. I would stop what I was doing, find a piece of cardboard, and I'd write it and stick it in my pocket, and I hope I didn't lose it for the day. And then I would come home, and if I didn't play it that night, I would put it in Apple Music in a To Learn for Uke a Day playlist. And so I had probably 50 songs going at once. in this playlist. But a lot of them were harder, so I didn't get to a bunch of them. And then ultimately, I would either just be grabbed by one song I heard at work and be like, yes, this is it. Or I would go through that playlist and try to find one that pulled me and that was easy enough. Or I would search. I would Google search. I searched things like easiest song to play on the ukulele, easiest song to play on the guitar, easiest song to sing, most fun song to play, quirkiest song to play, children's songs. It was just easy Disney songs to play. Anything I could think to get me some sort of database to choose from, especially within the time frame that I gave myself, which was very, very short. So that's really how I picked a song. I know someone mentioned, like, are we living out your life through your songs? And, you know, some days I think the songs did go along with the emotions of that day and maybe what was going on, but it was either purely coincidental or on a subconscious level. But most of the time it was just pick a song that I can post. So I'm an evening person for tunes. What about you? Golly, that's a good question. I'm both. I love getting things done in the morning because then I can just relax at night. I like sticking to circadian rhythm as much as I can. I'm like, sunlight day, get things done, woo-hoo-hoo. And you'll see up until I made this last move, I like to do most of my videos in the sun, in the day. It's just my work schedule changing these last 4 months has put me in the nighttime, which has made things harder. Because after a long day of working on my feet and then to come home, I have to train Mello, eat dinner, and then do my ukulele. That's been tough. So I think I'm more of a morning person. As far as where I live, yes, where I lived. So that's something I've been vague about just for privacy issues. I will say I live in the United States, obviously. And I have bounced around a lot. Like I said, I was on the West Coast, the East Coast, and now I've moved closer to my family again. So I hope that resonates. Does your daily or nightly performances pull you through the drudgery of life, or is it an added benefit or occasionally? How does it work with you? And then they wrote, oddly, my guitar playing gives me anxiety until I get into it. Then it's all better for me having done it. I think I spoke to this a little bit in the video yesterday about how much this channel has meant to me, and knowing I have my uke and I have this creative project or piece of art in a way has really pulled me through, you know, the hard times. So yes, I would say it has pulled me through the drudgery of life, and I might reword that into a way of the severe lows and the harder parts of life, because it's been an anchor of knowing, but I still have this thing that really means a lot, and I've put a lot into it. You know, it's being a gardener, being an artist, something that you're continually putting into one thing, or even being a parent. I mean, this all shows up in our lives in many different ways. It doesn't necessarily have to do with art, but it was my little commitment to myself, and that I had done it for so long made it even more meaningful and proud. Like, I'm so proud to tell people. I have no chip on my shoulder being like, yeah, I've done this, and it's awesome. I'm very proud of myself. Let's see. Oh, that's the last one. Oh, this video is 20 minutes too. Holy moly. All right. Okay, these are 2 of my longest videos. But thank you to everyone who asked a question. I really appreciate it. And they're so good. It got me thinking a lot and reflecting on my Yucca Day. And made me just, again, very grateful to have your time. Because when you choose to watch a video, it's your time and your attention. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And here's to the next phase of Yucca Day because I'm still committed. It's just going to look a little different. Okay.